What's going on YouTube? In today's video, I'll be swapping out some of the parts that I had on my Yukon over to my new Tahoe. So if you want to check that out, make sure you stay tuned. And also, if you're new to the channel, welcome and let's get to it. Alright, so for my first upgrade, I'm going to start off by swapping out the wheels from here to there. Because, you know, the wheels are good and those are not that good. They're dry rotted. Plus, you know, I got to be riding on 20s or bigger because I don't like them stock wheels. Before I put the wheels on, here's just like a small size comparison. I don't know what these are, but I think they're like 16s. So it says right there, yeah, they're 16-inch wheels, and these are 26 by 10. So that's the size comparison right there. And from width, these are by 10, and then these I'm not sure, but they're probably like a 8-inch or 7-inch. I'm not exactly sure, but that's what it looks like. And down here, I was just looking a little bit on the suspension part. Like, it looks okay overall, but it does have some stuff. Like, let's say there's no bump stops. So right here, the bump stops are missing on both sides in the front, and just, you know, a lot of little stuff here. So most likely I'll end up changing all of this later on, you know, like the brakes, doing all that stuff, the little stabilizer links, the lower control arms, upper control arms, the spindles in the back here, the shocks of course, and then probably put in some small bump stops right here, and then pretty much anything else that goes on it. But that's what it looks like right now. And at least, I mean, it has a liner and everything, but I'll probably be removing this too because I want to cut it up and give some space to the wheels because they're going to start rubbing here, and then they're also going to rub down here where the windshield reservoir is at. So down here, it looks dark, but it's right here. So I'll have to remove this, and I'll have to delete it if I want to put the 26s and then drop it real low. But I'll be messing with that later on. For now, I'm just putting the wheels on today. I'm not doing anything to it because I need to get it, you know, like insured and all that stuff, like get the motor fixed up, because I was looking down there and it has like some oil leaks, and also I saw up there that it did have some oil leaks as well. And if you guys are going to be dropping them just like me, as far as like a 5-inch drop or something big like that, and you want it to tuck a little bit or have no issues like rubbing on the fender, because if they stick out too much, they're going to rub, you know, and hit here. So they have to be at least plus 31 on offset. So here you can see it's got a plus 31. It's not a negative. So it could be higher. It could be like 32, 40. Anything like that will tuck the wheel more in, which is good because you want it to tuck if you're going real low. So the minimum is at least like 30 or 31, but I prefer at least 31 and up, you know, like 40 if I can find it. But most of those are going to be like special rims that, you know, you can get custom offsets. But here you can see, like I said, the plus 31, and then my width right here, 26 by 10. But some of them might have different names. Like this one says offset, but some of them might have different lettering and stuff. You just got to look for it, but it'll be on the wheel, on the back of the wheel. So there's one wheel on. And also on these center caps, I did go ahead and change them out from a original 17-inch stock wheel from a Chevy. So these are actually real center caps from Chevy, and they fit good on these wheels right here. These are LTZ replicas. If I remember I'll look for the model number, and I'm gonna list it on the screen so you guys know which model it is. It was like a C something, like a C and like 2-letter number, but they are replica wheels. They're 2019 LTZ replicas for everybody, you know, that wanted to know or had a question on that. And the tires that I'm using on the front right now are 295, 30, 26. So those will work and they won't rub, especially, you know, once I start doing all the extra work that I'm gonna have to do, like cutting and trimming pieces back here. But just like this in stock, like it won't rub at all. I could put 305s and it won't have no issue. And these tires that I have on right now as well, their brand is Venom.
I am Venom.
They're like a cheaper Chinese tire, but in low pros, it's kind of hard to find a lot of tires. I do like the pattern on them, so I might get some more like these. I do like them and they ride pretty good, so I'm fine with that, and that's what I'll have for now. But that's the thread pattern right there. I think it's like pretty sporty. Let me know what you guys think. Later on, if I change them, I'm gonna see if I get different brand. If not, I mean, I'm good with this brand. I like it and it rides good. All right, guys, check it out back here. This is on the rear of the truck. So everything looks a little bit, you know, older and stuff. So I'll be probably changing out the upper control arms as well. On the Yukon, I did change the lower ones. That way I could adjust the wheel, you know, from back to front, so I could center it out, because whenever you drop them, the wheel pushes forward. So I'll be swapping that one out and most likely order this one later on. Or I'm not exactly sure, like, if I'm gonna take the ones off the Yukon or just get a whole new set. But I'll see later what I'll do about those. Most likely I do want to change the top ones though. And then this is the factory bump stop right here, the bracket. and then it's missing the bump stop itself, so that's missing, just like in the front. But I don't really mind because I'm gonna have to cut this out for the 5-inch drop or 6, 7-inch drop. Anything above like 5, you're gonna have to cut this bracket off, so that doesn't really matter anyways. But I was just letting you know how it looks like right there. There it is, the wheels are on now, and I think it looks way better already. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. And it did get a little bit of a lift right there with the wheels since it is stock, but these wheels are bigger. And then now on the Yukon, I went ahead and did the 16s, so it looks way lower. But in the front, I did have to put the factory 20s that I had on my Silverado because the 16s or 17s won't fit with the drop spindles. I think the 17s did fit last time, but they were rubbing, so it has to be at least a 20-inch because that spindle drops a lot and it rubs on the wheel, so it won't let me put it on. So I had to put the 20s in the front, and then the 16s I could put in the back. So that's what it looks like right now. And I actually kind of like the way it looks. It looks even lower, so maybe if I can get this truck that low, it would be even better, because this is actually lower, of course, than how I had it with the 26s since it's a smaller diameter tire. But the drop looks pretty good. And overall, I mean, that's what it looks like right there. But any other thing that I can do right now, I mean, a small upgrade, I guess I'll just take this antenna off, because I don't be listening to radio, and I don't want to have it right here. It looks too bad sticking out. I don't like it, so I don't even listen to radio. So I'll just take this off, but it'll stay like that. Later I'll change it out, but that makes it look way better to me. Let me know what you think. All right guys, so I'm gonna start changing out my mirrors from the Tahoe right here. I'm gonna take these off, and I'm gonna get the ones from the Yukon and put them on here, because as you can see, these are all just stock and they have the black caps. So I'll just put these on today like normal, and later on I'll do the harness so I can catch up to you, and then work on the actual locking part to make them fold with the alarm. But I'm gonna be removing this, and I'm gonna be putting these over here. And you can see the difference right here. I did go ahead and purchase a full mirror cap and had it color matched. That's why they look different, because from the factory they look just like this. So it's got a smaller little cap, or like the Tahoe has all black, but some of them will have chrome or just different things. And these little caps that are here are just small, so whenever they get color matched, you can still see all this black around here. So that's why I decided to purchase this mirror cap. It's like a full mirror cap that you can get color matched, and then it looks a little bit better versus that. But that's what it looks like. And originally it was a chrome color, so this one was all in chrome, and then I just had it color matched. But they also sell some black ones if you want to purchase the black ones and then color match them. But I think it makes them look way better. And it just uses 3 10mm inside and that plug, so it's real easy, and I'll just go ahead and do that real quick. You can see I went ahead and put on both of the mirrors, and it makes them look better now that they're color matched to the truck, so it's looking a little bit better. And then right over here, it's just hooked up to the basic stuff or the normal stuff from the truck, the defrost, puddle light, and the moving of the glass. But later on I will hook up the turn signals, the folding of the mirrors, and all that good stuff with the wiring that I took off from the Yukon right here. As you can see, I got the relays from last time. And if you haven't watched the video where I did the conversion from a 03 mirror down to the 2000 and 2002, I'll go ahead and link that video on top of the screen so you can check it out. And that way, I'll keep working on part 3 where I'll make them fold with the remote. But whenever I open the door, you can see that the puddle lights are already working good right there. And then just the normal stuff here with the glass moving and stuff, left, down, up, they all work right there. And that's the same on both sides. But the plugs are just open right now, and this is just a factory plug. It has one plug on the 2000 and 2002, and then this is the aftermarket one that I did last time. So I'll be running this wire down into the truck and into that relay harness right there. But for now, I'll just leave it like this, because I'm gonna keep on working on those, but that's good for now right there. All right, so next up, I'll be swapping out my Escalade pillars that I have on the Yukon to the Tahoe right here. As you can see, the Tahoe just has the basic black ones, and over here I have the 01 to 06 Escalade pillars that I did the custom LED wiring right here in the channel. If you haven't checked that out, I'll also have it linked up on top of the screen. And if you'd like to purchase a set of these LED kits for me, then I'll go ahead and list my Instagram right here. You can reach me right there. Other than that, let me go ahead and show you real quick what the kit looks like and how to install it. So as you can see, this is how the system will come all set up, ready to go for an installation. And it is already wired up. All you gotta do is get power off the tail lights and, you know, mount the relay. If there is a relay, if there's no relay, then you just get ground off the body. And the strips do go on to the pillar with double-sided tape. But other than that, it will come with a plug-and-play connector so that you can remove your pillar in case you need to paint it or service it or anything like that. And you don't have to cut the wires. And I do have them all labeled up so that, you know, it gives you a simple or fast installation without, you know, reading an actual manual or something. And depending on the features, you know, like they'll have either 2 strips or single strips. But other than that, they'll look the same. And whenever you lay them out on the floor, they'll look just like this. So whenever you install the lights on your pillars, they will go from the bottom up. So pretty much taping it down from the bottom, and then the wiring will go on top and then looping back down so they can connect it onto the quick connector right here. And then that connector will run up to the relay on the harness that's going to the tail light. So pretty much that's what it'll look like. And depending on the features, the relay or wiring right here will split off to the tail light and to the trailer hitch harness. So this one will be a little bit longer if it's going there, and other than that, it'll just be short just like this. And I'll show you right here how it looks like on the tail light. So you can see the relay gets mounted right here, and it does get grounded as well. But if you don't have a relay, it'll still get grounded, and you don't need 2 screws. I just have 2 screws because I was working on this before and I just left it on since I already had a hole. Right here, just make sure you scrape off the paint. Like right here, you can see it's silver in the back because I had scraped it off. But like I said, I just left that screw in there. Other than that, the wiring and relay get all tucked in, and you'll just follow, you know, your stock wiring and get power out of your reverse and then your running light if you are gonna do those, just depending on the features. But other than that, the wiring will just go up on the 5-pin connector right over here. I'll show you. And the 5-pin connector right here will just be running up through the back right here, and it'll come up just like this. So like right around here, and it'll connect to your LED lights from the top, not from the bottom, because that way it won't get bulky right here and it'll give you a clean look. And this is how it looks like with the dual strips right here, real close together, and it fills up the whole gap. So if you had only one, of course you're gonna have, you know, like half black and half white, or, you know, depending on how your pillar color is. And that's pretty much it for the installation. It's real simple. And if you have any questions, just let me know down below. Also, if you like this content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe. Alright guys, so I'll be swapping out right now the Escalade bumper that I have on the Yukon. So I'm gonna be removing it, and it's just a stock bumper on the Tahoe. And the one that I'm putting on from the Yukon came from an Escalade, and it's just a direct bolt on, so there's nothing else that you have to do anything special. It just has the bolts down here that you gotta 3 or 4 bolts that you gotta remove. And I'll just show you, it's not something hard or anything, but this bolt right here, and then there's like 2 more bolts here. And the bolts are a little bit different on the trucks. So in my case right here, this one is a 21 millimeter, and then these 2 right here are 17 millimeters. But on the Yukon, they're a little bit bigger. Like I think these are 22 and maybe 18. But I'm gonna check on those right now. I'm gonna take this one off first off the Tahoe, and then I'll let you know. So, all right guys, check it out. I have the bumper off, and I also did run the pillar wiring right now since I have this bumper off. And you can see it looks way better with the pillar lights. I just had them on, but now I got them wired up. And the same on this side right here. So it makes it look way different. But the bumper had different bolts. That's why they were a little bit, you know, different. They're right here, and they're aftermarket. So somehow, you know, they got changed. So these are not the original sizes, but it was 4 bolts. So I'll get the correct number and I'll put them on the screen. But I did, you know, take advantage and run my wiring down here when the bumper is off. So you can see I have it all loomed up right here. And these are my turn signal wires going to the trailer hitch harness. So I have them all loomed up, and it looks real good. Where I tapped in the yellow wire and the green wire for the left and right turn signal. So the right turn signal is the green one, and then my left turn signal is the yellow one. And I just have, you know, separate colors. My blue is for my left, and then the red wire is on my right. But that's what it looks like, and I'm gonna just close it up. But I like the way it looks right now, and I just gotta put it back together. So that's what it's looking like. And yeah, the pillars make a big difference. Let me know what you guys think so far of this. It should look way better once the bumper is on as well. So here's my plug all cleaned up. And if you don't really know, you probably wouldn't even notice that, you know, it got interfaced with, but you know, I try to keep it as stock as possible, but that's what it looks like. And for the bumper wiring, it does have this 1 plug from the truck. And then other than that, it's just the bolts that go on the side. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1 from the bottom, which is 4. And that's these right here. But like I said, these are aftermarket, so I'll get the correct, you know, diameter, or I'll probably use the ones from the Yukon on here and put those on the Yukon for now. But here you can see the bumper, and the plug is just right here. So it's just like a plug and play. There's nothing special to it, just the normal bolts. And then, you know, swap out the bumper. And this plug right here is just for your lights on the license plate. So that's pretty much what it is. And it's nothing real special unless you have like, you know, backup sensors or something like that. But it's real easy to swap out. All right, so I got the bolts off the Yukon, and these are the factory bolts for the bumper in the rear. So two 15 millimeters right here, and then four 18 millimeters, and then two 21 millimeter. And you can see that the aftermarket ones look a little bit different. So I'll be sticking with these because I prefer the original ones every time, you know, because they're gonna be way better and instead of those right there. So I'm gonna be using this and I'm gonna be putting them back in. And here you can see that the bumper just slides right in. So in the factory, you don't have to do nothing. It's just being held on by a little bit. So I just gotta push it in. And pretty much, you know, like I said, it's real simple. It's just like a straight bolt on. Alright guys, I just wanted to show you real quick how I wired up the pillars since, you know, I was swapping them out, and also the Escalade bumper. As you can see, they're both on, but the pillars right here, they're just like a snap-on. They're real simple to put on, and when you open the doors, you'll see a 7 millimeter right on top here, and then on the other side the same thing. But in my case, since I already had them pre-wired, all I did was the new wiring right here, and you can see where I put my relay just like in the Yukon. So it's all grounded right here. I had to scrape off the paint to get a good ground. And then the relay and wiring get all tucked up down back here, and it does come over here and then tap into the tail light. But if you notice, there's no wiring here because I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep these. Well, I'm not gonna keep these stock ones. I'm gonna change these LED tail lights to something aftermarket, and usually they come with a new harness, and I don't want to redo the whole work. So what I did was go all the way down and follow the wiring, and then grab them at the truck side. So that's where my wires went. But you don't really have to do all that. You can usually just go right here and grab the power, not unless you're gonna swap out tail lights. But like I said, in my case, you know, because sometimes whenever I swap them out, they'll come with a whole new harness that runs to that plug down there. And what I did was just run it directly behind that plug on the car side or truck side, so that if I do change them out and they come with a new harness, then I don't have to redo it. So like in the Yukon, I already had the LED tail light, so I just tapped in right in here, which is, you know, what you want to do, because sometimes not everybody wants to go all the way down there and do it. The plug is right over here. So here you can see that I tapped into it, and also the other wires going right there. So I just went ahead, like I said, tapped into this side of the truck, and then that way if I do change out my tail lights, then I can just unplug this and there's no problem. But that's what it's looking like right there. And then here were the factory bolts for the bumper. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And the same way on that side, and then it just slides all out. And it's a plug and play basically. And also, if you notice, I did remove the spare tire because I don't need that thing. I just took it away. And without that spare tire, I get more room. So whenever I get to working on the suspension, you know, like I'll have extra space, and which is always good. Also on the LED plate bracket right here, I did go ahead and run a new one. And I will make a video on this as soon as I get a chance. I haven't forgot about it, but whenever I do them, they'll get power right off the factory LED lights right here, or halogens, whatever you have in here. You can just go back here and just tap in. It's pretty simple. So here you can see where my plug is at, and I'm just tapping into the factory, you know, wiring. And I did put the connector, that way I can unplug it if, you know, I need to remove the plate or anything like that without cutting the wires, because you don't want to do double work, you know. But that's what it looks like right there. It's real simple. And let me know what you guys think down below in the comments about the pillars and the bumper and all this stuff right here. I think it's making it look way better already. All right guys, so let's go over what I got so far. So I went ahead also and changed out the upper pad on top of the bumper because it was black, if you remember. And I had an extra one in the garage in pewter metallic, so I went ahead and put it on, and it goes really good. And I also did end up changing out the antenna from the Yukon to here because I couldn't ever find no other one, so I just took it off. And you know, I like this one because it's smaller and chrome. And also I did do the wipers from the Yukon because the other ones were all rusted and old. And the wheels, of course, and it has no drop, so that's why it looks like this right now. I think it's okay, but I do want to drop it off later on, you know, to make it look way better when it's dropped. And in the front, the wheels don't rub at all, which is good. But later on, when I start dropping it, it will rub. So I'll have to be like cutting and trimming around there. And I'll show you guys when I do that as well. And the good thing is that, you know, with these wheels, it still doesn't rub. So with the stock height, it won't rub. I can do full U-turns and everything has no problem. You can see that there's no rubbing. So it's all, you know, stock, normal. So there's no issue there if you're like stock height and, you know, some wheels like this. But once you drop it, then yeah, you have to trim it or cut. And I'll be doing that video whenever I do the drop on this truck. And the mirrors I did go ahead and put on from the Yukon, but they're not connected as far as the folding or LED. I will do a separate video on that, but I just went ahead and put them on. But next time I'll be wiring them up so I can continue making the videos on the powerful mirrors. But right now they're just doing the, you know, stock equipment, which is the puddle lights, the defrost, and then like moving of the glass. So that's what they are right now. And I just left this open for now. As you can see, my wires are just, you know, open because I don't want to be opening and closing. I mean, I'm just gonna have to open it up again, so it's cool like that. I'm gonna just leave it. And the interior, you know, I haven't done anything else to it. I do want to change out my steering wheel, but I do want to make the video, so I'm gonna hold up on that till I make the video. And also the cluster and the lighting inside there, but I'll, you know, make that video for you guys right there so you can see how to do that if you had any questions on it. But other than that, that's pretty much it back over here. And I did go ahead and, you know, swap out the pillars, so the pillars are all working right now. And now that I have the pillars on and my Escalade bumper, it makes a big difference. So I think it looks way better. It makes it look like a newer truck, really, to me. But I do have to change out the door handle right here. I'm gonna put it on from the Yukon as well, because that one's already color matched. And other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. I did go ahead and wash it, and I'll show you on the top right here. I got it pretty much all cleaned up because it was pretty dirty. There is still some dirt here and there, but it's not too bad overall. I mean, later on I can clean it more. That was just like the first one. And I also want to change out the tail lights, but later on I'm gonna figure out if I'm gonna get new ones or if I'm gonna swap out the ones from the Yukon. But you can also let me know down below in the comments what you guys think, if I should, you know, put new ones or use the ones from the Yukon. And also, if you like this content or any of this helped you out, you know, or anything like that, make sure you drop a like down below, comment, share, all that good stuff. That way I can keep making more videos like this, you know, and reach out more people that have questions on this. And also, if you want to keep up with the build, make sure you have your bell notifications turned on. That way, whenever I drop a new video, you get notified. And that'll be pretty much it for this video, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next one. We're gone.
And we slow down, jamming that screw. Know what I'm talking about? And go down. Swisher House remix.
They don't really know what we really about to do. Top down 16, slow down, I'm banging my screw. Pulled up clean, top down, Hollywood scenes. They don't really know, slow down, I'm banging my screw. What's up to my folks? Out here riding them spokes. This ain't no joke. Out here riding slow, making cars look like boats. Slide through the city, keep a bad